YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Des A1. Please say the A1, coming at you from the Big Dub Network, where we strive for the W's and we learn from the L's. Today, people, is the final mock draft for us Washington Commanders. 2024 draft season is slowly coming to an end. At this point, it feels like it's, just seconds away. I'm gonna shoot this on the 23rd, upload it on the 23rd, and we'll be less than 48 hours away, people. Less than 48 hours away of knowing where our future can possibly quite go, and we'll learn the direction that this new regime will want to take us. And I'm only doing a 3-round draft, 3-round mock draft. So I'm dealing with the top 100 picks, top 100 possible prospects. And as you watch this mock draft, I'm not going to talk a lot about the prospects. I'm going to tell you probably one or two things I like about the prospects, why I think we're going to go that route for that specific position. But I don't know where these guys are going to be on these people's boards. This is a new regime. We don't really know which route they want to take, what players they want to, target. In the future, 2-3 years right now, we might be able to, from now, we'll be able to tell, what direction they would particularly go in a draft. But now we're fresh, man. And that's some of the things that, we can't be figured out. And it's frustrating the media, and it's frustrating a lot of the fans, because the fans don't know what's going on as well. So that's, I guess we have one prospect to choose from. At the quarterback position, I guess everything will be okay. But being that there's 2, or maybe some people even consider 3 prospects that we might target, there's a disconnect. But today, I'm going to tell you exactly where I think we're going to go and why. So let's get right into it. People, the pick is in, and on the clock is the Washington Commanders. And with the second overall pick in this year's 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select the one, the only, yours truly, Jayden Daniels. 6'4", 210 out of LSU. The senior, the 5-year senior, the old man, some would say. Jayden Daniels. So specifically, the reason I think we'll take Jayden Daniels, one reason and one reason only, because I'm really leaning Drake May as the route that we'll take. But at this point, as we're coming down to the end, I can't think about anything other than the fact that Dan Quinn speaks about this young man's abilities as if he never, ever wants to face him. He wants those abilities, those skills, that skill set on his side. And he called Jayden Daniels a game changer. Yes, that's something that happened a couple months ago, I want to say. But the way he just describes the young man and what Dan Quinn wants in a quarterback, I think this is it. Game changer, playmaker, explosive young man at the quarterback position. That's the only reason I think we're taking Jayden Daniels. If Quinn was a little bit more reserved when speaking of what he wants in a quarterback, and specifically speaking on Jayden Daniels, I would feel a different way. I would be like Drake May all day. But when Quinn describes the abilities that this young man has, I can't get that out of my head. Like I said, I really don't think we'll take Jayden Daniels until I think about what the head coach would want. And I think Peters will give Dan Quinn exactly that as far as the coach. As far as him being the head coach and him wanting Jayden Daniels at the quarterback position. Because I think going out and getting Jayden Daniels as someone that Dan Quinn would want, and Adam Peters may want him to, or he may not, but I feel like he'll give Quinn that much, being that he's the head coach. the head coach wants this specific player at the most important position, I mean, you got to concede to the head coach. Just starting out this regime when giving a head coach a quarterback that he didn't necessarily want, and the position that we are in at the 2 overall pick, when only person that we can't have is Caleb Williams, and then we're lucky enough to have at least 2 of these prospects to choose from. The most difficult part is you can get it wrong and someone else can get it right based off you getting it wrong. But if we can only choose from Jayden Daniels, we'll be fine with that. If we can only choose from Drake May, we will be fine with that. If we can only choose from J.J. McCarthy, trade back. Trade back. Let somebody else have him. But that's another story for another day. Hopefully, Friday, I'm not talking about us taking J.J. McCarthy and trying to make it make sense. I'm probably having a conversation with us either taking Drake May or what I feel like is going to happen based off our head coach, Dan Quinn. I feel like we're going to take Jayden Daniels. With all the bullshit media stuff aside, I'd rather play for the Raiders. I don't give a fuck about that. I'd rather go to Minnesota. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't want to play in Washington. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Agent man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You can't play golf. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Dan Quinn wants this young man, he'll be a Washington Commander. If Dan Quinn says, okay, Adam Peters, let's consider something else. There's some question marks. There's been time throughout this process that they could have just been like, hands off. We want to consider someone else other than Jayden Daniels. And if they come to that conclusion, cool. I hope it's Drake May. I like May as a prospect as well. But Jayden Daniels has that extra level of dynamic ability that will be explosive, that will bring fans to the games, that could possibly put some points on the boards for us for years and years to come. So with the 2nd overall pick, I do feel like Washington is going to take Jayden Daniels at the quarterback position. Let's get him in. Let's get him that number 5 jersey, and let's go score some points. And Washington Commanders fans, the worst kept secret. I've been told that Washington is going to trade back into the 1st round. We have draft capital, not to waste, but to use to go up and get a more sought after dynamic player for our offensive line. I did several mock drafts, and it seems as if we can get somewhere in between the 18th overall pick, which is the Bengals, the 19th overall pick, which is the Rams, the 21st overall pick, which right now is held by the Dolphins, or the 23rd pick, which is right now held by the Vikings. We can get somewhere in that area where I think those are 4 teams that might be possibly willing to trade out for us. In worst case scenario, we are in the 27-28 range. If we're able to get up there, there's always a lineman that's going to fall to us. And a couple mock drafts, I was able to choose between a couple of them. The Mimses, the Shanus, the couple of them. Big name tackles. So specifically, in this situation here, try not to, specifically put it on the lineman that I took, but we traded up back into the 1st round. We got back to number 21, and at 21, Washington Commanders selected Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle out of Penn State, standing at 6'6", weighing in at 308 and 19 pounds. If it's him, great. If it's any of the other ones, great. I don't give a fuck. My preference I don't want to do what we want to do on the offensive line. At least right now, we're bringing a more dynamic prospect at the left tackle or right tackle position. We're going to lose one of our top 100 picks. We aren't going to have 6 top 100 picks. We're going to end up with 5 if we want to do what the sports media is saying that we're definitely going to do. It's the worst kept secret. So if we do trade back up into the first round and get to a point where we're around 21, we're going to lose one of those picks. And at this point right here, we came out with Olu Fashanu. So ask yourself, fans, this. Is going up to get a Olu Fashanu worth losing a possible top 100 pick? So if we say we stay at 36, we're definitely going to keep all of our top 100 picks. If we come up to like a 27 or 28, we could possibly keep all of our top 100 picks, which ultimately will help our roster a little bit more than losing a top 100 pick. But is it balanced out, in your opinion, by us getting a Olu Fashanu? With all the holes that some people say that we have, well, we only won 4 games last year. I don't think we're that bad of a team. We're not a 4-win team. We're not a regular 4-win team. So some people say we have a lot more holes. I would say we have holes as well. But is it worth it going to get him and losing a top 100 pick, or staying where we are, or waiting a little bit longer, see who can fall even further, and just wait for another prospect and potentially keep all of our top 100 picks, which is 6 currently. But in this draft, I think I traded one of those top 100 picks. I had to, just to get up that high. And this result, we come up, get a left tackle for Jayden Daniels. So this is Olu Fashanu, worst kept secret. Washington traded back up for a tackle. I think it's going to happen. I'm perfectly fine with it. Just go get somebody that can hold down the blind side just as long as our quarterback is here. Let's move on to our next pick. So, early day 2, we have a pick, people. So, in that particular trade that I did, we went up to 21. The Dolphins come back. They don't get 36, they get 40. Because the packages were, you get 36, 78, or 40 and 67. They chose to go with that 40 to 60 and 67. So we were able to keep 36 and 78. And with the 36th overall pick, the Washington Commanders select Keon Coleman, wide receiver out of Florida State, standing in at 6'4", 215 pounds. Look, people, I'm not one to think that the NFL is going to be as down on Keon Coleman as like a PFF or these other simulators out here. I think Keon's going to go in the first round. And if Keon slides to the second round, there's 3 picks before us that can easily take a Keon Coleman. Easily. They can take a Keon Coleman. And can it happen? Yes. Will it happen? Very, very. I don't know. At this point, I don't really know. But I know, like I said, the Panthers and Patriots at 33 and 34 could easily snag Keon Coleman right from us. Kansas City at 32 could easily snag him. 30 Ravens can easily snag him. But there's other receiver prospects that the NFL may be a little bit higher on based off some of the testing. But I'm saying right here now, right here and right now, people, if we could insert a Keon Coleman into whatever this offense is going to be. I don't know. We don't know. Maybe Cliff has something up his sleeve. But if we can add a Keon Coleman, is that a bad thing? At this point, we would have added Jayden Daniels, prolific deep ball thrower, dynamic, dual threat at the quarterback position. A Olu Fashanu, a prized possession at the left tackle position. As a prospect that you could ever ask for. And Keon Coleman. Offense. A lot of us really think that we're going to go offense heavy anyway. And if we were able to do it with those three prospects in particular, those three prospects, dynamic across the board. Keon with a big receiver where we've been longing for years. Maybe he's the one that pans out for us. But in a sticky, shitty situation, if Jayden Daniels is dropping back, throwing a deep ball to Keon Coleman, ask yourself, who do you, as a fan, have faith in? Who do you, as a fan, have faith in? And that's with Dot still on the outside, Scary Terry still on the outside. We're not done just yet with this offense, even in this 3-round mock. But I'm telling you right now, people, if there's a dynamic player at the wide receiver position, when we draft on early day 2, we're going to take him. We are going to take him. You can bet your bottom dollar. You can bet your bottom dollar we're going to beef up that wide receiver room. And in this mock draft here, we did it with Keon Coleman. I think that's the route we're going to take. Offense, first 3 picks. Offense. It's either going to be quarterback, receiver, tackle. Quarterback, tackle, receiver. Quarterback, tackle, tight end. Calling it now, people. I'm coming back here after the mock, after the draft, and seeing what was I right about. Was I able to predict where this regime would go? Was I able to predict what Adam Peters could possibly be as our general manager? Was I able to predict what Dan Quinn would be looking for as our new head coach, and as he is given the opportunity to turn this ship around? Was I able to predict any of that? So offense as the draft starts coming up in 2 days, people. Let's move on to the next pick. The pick is in. Washington Commanders. It's no longer on the clock. As I stated before, we lost pick 40. We lost pick 67 with that trade up to number 21 to get Olu Fashanu, our future left tackle. We're back on the clock with the 78th pick. And with the 78th pick, the Washington Commanders select Cam Hart, cornerback out of Notre Dame, senior, standing in at 6'2", 207. This young man has Dan Quinn, and Joe Witt Jr. written all over him. Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. written all over him. He came in for a top 30. I think we're going to attack our top 30. This is the prototypical corner they will want as a guess. Because let me say this, and I've said this already. Let me repeat it again. I don't know what this regime is attacking. I don't know what they want. This here, Cam Hart, is a guess for me. Cam Hart is a educated guess for me, because I do not know. Joe Witt said it himself. If you're going to try to predict what we're going to do on offense based off what we've done in the past, you're going to be wrong. What does that mean? I don't know. Are they going back to 3D? Are we going to see some of those Seattle type of defenses? Are we going to see a blitz heavy man-to-man defense? I don't know. I just think Cam Hart is definitely something or someone that Dan Quinn will be interested in moving forward. Is that Joe Witt's preference? I don't know. So we're going to learn a lot, but I think the 78 spot here is prime for a cornerback. I could also see us going safety at the 78 spot, but corner is a tad bit more important to get youthful at, because Michael Davis is only on a 1 year. Then there's still free agents out there, but they're long in the tooth. And then we got St. Jude's. I think he's coming out the books soon. I don't know if he's going to have to play big this year to stay with us. But bringing in another young corner is very important, I think. You may think so, or you may not. Let me know what you think down below. But Cam Hart, standing in at 6'2", 207. I mean, what more could you ask for? What more can you ask for? He's more of a zone corner. So is that something that Joe Witt wants? And we're talking about a defense, people, that's going to create turnovers by default. It's just going to happen by default, just because we have Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. Turnovers are coming. Manufacturing opportunities for the defense to come off the field and the offense in a favorable position is bound to happen, just based off having those two guys, our head coach and our defense coordinator, in the building. And having someone like Cam Hart, who I think fits what they're going to do moving forward, it'll just be perfect. And you can insert your corner of choice right here. I don't know what that board's going to look, that cornerback board's going to look like, or what that big board's going to look like. Whatever corner you like right here, put them in. Put them in. Let me pull up some other corners right now. Let me pull up some other corners right now. Are you a Renardo Green type of guy? Put them in. Put them right here. Are you a Max Melton type of guy? Put them right here. Put them right there. A Jarvis Brownlee type of guy? Put him right there. DJ James? Put him right there. Nehemiah Pritchard? Put him right there. 78 pick is prime to be that cornerback that Dan Quinn and Joe Witt wants, to go along with an Emmanuel Forbes that they claim they like even last year. I have nothing but faith that those two guys can get the maximum out of Forbes, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. So watch the Commanders go with Cam Hart. Scratch Cam Hart in your mind. Go with cornerback. I almost didn't even put a corner right here. I almost just put cornerback out of whatever school, wing, whatever. standing in at whatever. If Joe Witt and Dan Quinn find a corner that they think is going to be in this area that they feel like can fit, they're taking them. So let's move on to this last pick in my final mock draft for the 2024 draft season. Washington Commanders fans, as the draft get closer, let me know what you think we should do. What you think we should attack early in the draft. What you think we should wait a little later for. What you think will help us get to that next level a little bit faster if that specific pick was to work out at a specific position. Just let me know, man. We're less than 48 hours away. The anticipation is killing us. We just don't know. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, but we just don't know. But with the last pick in this 3-round mock draft, top 100 draft, whatever you want to call it, my final mock draft for this season, we're going to attack a position of need. And one of the best players at that position, who may not be available at this place in the draft, pick 100. But I think pick 100, just like I said about the cornerback position at pick 78. At pick 100, this position is primed to be attacked with the 100th overall pick in the NFL draft for the 2024 season. The Washington Commanders select Ben Sinnott, tight end out of Kansas State University, weighing in at 245, standing in at 6'4". Why I like this tight end specifically, not just one stat, but one specific stat that stand out: 14 forced missed tackles. 14 forced missed tackles. That means multiple things. I mean, you got a little wiggle, you got some strength, you run with aggression. All those words could be substituted with the word explosive. One of Dan Quinn's favorite words. This young man here and he's a chess piece. He can be moved all over the field. He's spoken about it in his interviews. He liked the offense at K-State because he could move all over the field. And that's an ability of his. He's a good blocker. We'll have Ertz to lead the way, to show him the way. But mid-season, I think this guy could early be a dynamic piece for us. Early. And he's one that's going up the draft boards too. Being Sinnott, I don't know if he's going to be there at 100, but I think this position, because there's a few different targets I like at that tight end position, but he's one of my favorites. I would have to say he's probably my second favorite in the draft. I mean, my second tight end. I don't even have Brock Bowers on my mind. I mean, you're not going to touch Brock Bowers. But being Sinnott, I would say is right behind Brock Bowers, in my opinion, just based off his versatility and his ability to block and his forced missed tackles. And same with the cornerback group. If you have a different tight end right here, sub him in. If you like another tight end that you like more, put him in here over being Sinnott. I don't know what this regime will be looking for at a specific position. I know they had a couple other guys that come in for top 30 at that position, so I don't really know what they're going to want. Are they going to want to be in SNYDER? Are they going to want a Jared Wiley? Are they going to take a Jatavion Sanders, who some think could be available in this position? I know he's a little bit higher in some boards, but some think that he could be available around this time in the draft. Do you take a Jatavion Sanders? Do you take a Case though? An Eric All? What do you do? What do they want? What are they looking for? And I think this is a prime position in the draft to go get exactly what they're looking for. So this is my final mock draft for the Washington Commanders. It took me almost 30 minutes to give you guys 5 picks, but I want to give you some insight to why I feel like this is the way we're going to go. Even though we have no clue. It's just a gut feeling I have. Like my gut's telling me that we're going to take May, which I'm cool with. But oh no, man. He's calling Jayden Daniels a game change. Is this our future quarterback, people? I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You cool with it? Let me know down below. What you not cool with? You might not be cool with us taking Jayden. You like, no. We should not consider Jayden Daniels. Tell me why. You might be like, yo, it's Jayden Daniels or nothing. I'm done with this franchise if we don't take the next Lamar Jackson. Or might say, I want that 21-year-old Drake May that's a prototypical quarterback. He looks the part. He has a little bit to correct, but what is coaching for? Bring the young big guy in and let us improve him, and he'll take us wherever we need to be. Or maybe you want J.J. McCarthy.